Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. I am Dr. Laisam Santosh Singh, convener, Fit India Campaign Committee and Fit India Club of Manipur University. Presents a virtual series of national talk during this second wave pandemic is a part of the Fit India movement. Starting from 25th May up to 4th June 2021. Today is the second series of National Talk on the topic management of academic institute during the pandemic. It's a very reliable topic. In this connection, let me extend a welcome each one of you present over here today. So first of all, I would like to extend my sincere welcome to the today's panelists. First of all, respected Professor G.P. Prasad, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, Tripura. I welcome you, sir, as a speaker. And thank you so much, sir, for your kind accepted our invitation to be present here. Thank you so much, sir. And respected Professor T.H. Ratan Kumar Singh, Department of English, I welcome you, sir, as a moderator for this second session. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir. And then respected Professor M.C. Arun, Department of Anthropology, and presently head Department of Psychology, Manipur University. I welcome you, sir, as co-moderator. Thank you, sir. Especially, I would like to welcome to all the participant, learned member, faculty, non-teaching staff, students, everyone present here today. I welcome everyone. So, I'm moving ahead the programs. I would like to request again to the co-moderator, Professor M.C. Arun, to have introduced today our eminent speaker, Professor Ganga Prasad, Honorable Vice Chancellor at Tripura University. Thank you, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is my privilege to introduce today's speaker, Oja Prasad. Dr. Ganga Prasad is currently Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. Previously, he was Dean, School of Social Sciences, and a Professor of Commerce of Manipur University. He has completed his M.Com and a PhD from prestigious Banaras Hindu University, Banarasi. He has 31 years of teaching and research experiences at postgraduate level and 14 years as professor in the Department of Commerce, Manipur University. His areas of specializations are entrepreneurship development, human resource management, marketing and tourism management. He has published 7 books and 72 research papers at different national and international journals to his credit. He has also attended and presented papers in 87 national and international seminars and conferences in India and abroad. He has also served in Indira Gandhi National Open University, Manipur University Study Center from 2004 to 2020 as coordinator. And he is honorary secretary of Indian Institute of Public Administration, Manipur Regional Branch since 2006. He is a member of first quarter of Manipur University, apart from being a member of academic councils and school board of studies of Manipur University, Nagaland University, Mizoram University, and Assam University. He is also executive council members of Rajiv Gandhi Central University and of Sikkim University, and he is also board member of the same university. Professor Prasad is the chief editor of the journal Tanglai Talk Business Review, a peer-reviewed research journal published by Commerce Department of Manipur University since 1998, and the journal is listed in UGC web pages. He has also conducted a number of seminar, workshops, training programs sponsored by different funding agencies. 17 research scholars had been awarded PhD under his guideship. He has also completed 5 major research projects funded by University Grants Commission, Indian Council of Social Sciences, Research, and Government of Manipur. Professor Prasayan has been awarded Fellowship of Indian Commerce Association New Delhi for the year 2010 and 14. He is also a life member of various professional associations, including Indian Commerce Association, Indian Accounting Association, Indian Institute of Public Administration, and a few organizations of national importance. Professor Prasayan has visited many foreign countries, including United States of America, Myanmar, Bhutan, and Nepal on various academic assignments. Today, I feel we are very lucky to have Dr. Ganga Prasad Prasayan as a resource person in this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Arun, for very nicely introducing our today's eminent speaker. Thank you so much. Now, moving ahead the program, I would like to request to the moderator, Professor T.S. Ratan Kumar Singh, to hand over the session. Thank you, sir. Please, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Now, Professor Arun has given a very nice introduction to one of our former colleagues, Professor G.P. Prasayan, now Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. And after that very nice introduction, I have nothing more to say. And we are very proud of an eminent scholar like Professor Prasayan. So it's a pleasure for all of us. And we are looking forward to an interesting talk by Professor Prasayan, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. So without wasting any time, I request Sir Professor Prasayan kindly to start your talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, namaskar, and kurumjari. At the very outset, I thank my friend Professor M. Arun for giving very nice introduction. Professor Ratan Kumar, Director, College Development Council, former Dean of Student Welfare, and also former Department of English, Manipur University. Who was also former head department of psychology and now head department of psychology, Manipur University. Yes. Dr. Santosh, who is assistant professor and very active faculty member. Now he is leading the Fit India Club and Fit India movement in Manipur University. I also convey my heartfelt regards and greetings to all the faculty members, all the deans, heads of the department, professors, non-teaching staff officers, and other colleagues from different parts of Manipur who have joined in this talk program of today, which is being organized by Dr. Santosh on a very, very important and relevant topic, that is management of academic institutions during pandemic. As we all know, and we have been facing, we have been suffering, we have been experiencing this pandemic since March 2020. We all knew that suddenly a pandemic called COVID-19 coronavirus, which was originally started from the one city of China, has spread all over the globe, and India was also affected, and Manipur was also. So since March 2020, we have been suffering because of this COVID-19 coronavirus, which is a very, very serious pandemic and disease. Now, as we all know about this pandemic, without wasting our time, let me come to our topic, that is management of academic institutions. How academic institutions like universities and colleges should be managed during such a pandemic. So here, we all know that pandemic did not give any information on time. They saw suddenly. We did not know, and we do not know that when pandemic will come. Yes, we were feeling that since 2020 April, pandemic was there, universities were closed. We have experienced so many ups and downs in university, and we thought that from October, November, December 2020, it will subside. It will slow down. So even in Manipur University and Tripura University also, we have started our offline classes from January, February onwards. Even in Manipur colleges, we are started. Even in Tripura also, we have started offline classes from February and March. Even we have decided examination in the month of April. Examinations are going on. But suddenly, again, this pandemic, this disease surge, it increased. So we closed down our institution. So now, coming to the topic, the fundamental things in such pandemic is health management. Health management of our students, our faculty members, their family members, their research scholars, officer and non-teaching staff. So since health is the main concern for all of us, and if we do not take all precaution, all preventive measure for making ourselves healthy, we may suffer a lot of casualties. We have also suffered. Therefore, first thing, in connection with management of academic institution is closing down or declaration of holiday of educational institution. So since this is a communicable disease, it is spread from one person to another person. To prevent spread and communication of this disease from one person to another person, from one student to another student, from one staff to another staff, from one faculty member to another faculty members, we need to close down our educational institutions. So we have done. We have declared holiday, summer vacation for students. We have also informed our students to vacate the hostel immediately. But in campus, our teachers, our staff, and their family members have been living. So therefore, as a protocol, as a SOP, which is given by the Ministry of Health, Indian Council of Medical Research, Director of Health Services, we have to follow their guidelines. So to follow their guidelines, we have instructed avoiding assembly of many people in one place. Say, for example, after declaring the vacation of the institutions, we have constituted COVID task force. The first and foremost duty of an academic institution, maybe university, maybe college, even maybe medical college, is formation of COVID-19 task force, which we have constituted in Manipur University even in 2020. I was the first chairman of this task force. When I was in Manipur up to August 16, I was looking after this task force. Now Professor Moilal is there. So every day I am getting news that they are doing very good job. So the duties and responsibilities of COVID task force is to give awareness program to our students, to our faculty member, to our campus dweller regarding, say, wearing of masks, keeping social distance, cleaning of health regularly, etc., etc. And now, to maintain our health, to prevent the this pandemic, we have started vaccination in mass in Manipur also, in Tripura also. So we all know that those in the first, as per the first instruction of the Government of India, vaccination should be done only for those who are plus 45, means whose age is more than 45. So we did. So even in Tripura University, I have contacted the medical directorate, and on 9th April 2021, all the faculty member and staff and officer who are above 45 years were vaccinated. That is on 9th April 2021. Again, another guideline came from the Government of India that even those who are 18 plus, even students and even family members who are of more than 18 years of age should be also vaccinated. So that drive is going on. In spite of the shortage of vaccination in our country, because of large number of people who need vaccination, this vaccination drive is going on in the campuses of Manipur University as well as in Tripura University. So health management is the first criteria of the management of academic institution during this pandemic. To prevent from this disease in future, we have been conducting the vaccination program, and this is going on in full swing. Then suddenly some of our family members, some of our staff, some of our students are found positive. So where we will send? So for keeping them temporarily before sending to hospital, because in hospital now beds are limited. If the condition of the patient becomes serious, he has to be kept in ICU. But in Manipur, in Tripura, in other places, even in Delhi also, we've been seeing in the media that there was shortage of bed. Therefore, for the time being, they must be kept in an isolation center, that is COVID care center, that is temporary arrangement, which we must have in our campus of the university. I know in Manipur University also, there is one COVID care center. Here in Tripura University, I had converted the old guest house as an isolation center. So initially, before sending to hospital, we are keeping our patient who are found COVID positive in the isolation center for a few days. And we have to be very strict in case of visitors. No visitor, except emergency, should be allowed to come inside the campus. Similarly, in Imphal, in Tripura government of Manipur, they have also declared COVID curfew. So it is very strictly being followed just to prevent this surge of this disease again in future for our remaining population. So main thing is, as a leader of the educational institutions, for management of academic institutions, we must take all precautions, preventive measures. And at the same time, in Indian universities, there are health centers inside the campus. Some universities are having few doctors, some are having only one doctor. So for example, in Manipur University, I know there is only one doctor. In Tripura University, there are 2 full-time doctors. So we have to keep minimum requirement for meeting emergency purposes of COVID-19 patients. So what are these minimum requirements? There must be a few oxygen cylinders and oxygen concentrators. There must be a few masks. There must be some sanitization material, etc., inside the this health center. And health center should work 24 hours, because anytime anybody may become sick. Somebody may be taking medicine, but suddenly if his oxygen level goes down, if it goes down below 90 or 80, then he should be sent to the ICU in the hospital. So to meet this type of insurgencies, I feel that the health center must be have a helpline of 24 hours into 7, and one ambulance should be always ready in the health center for emergency purpose. I know in Manipur University also we have one ambulance. In Tripura University also we have one ambulance. One driver by rotation is being kept. Driver should be provided full PPE kit, full precaution. And those health workers, those nurses, those staff, those doctors who are put in the health center, who are posted in the health center, must be provided full PPE kit for their protection. And I'm very happy that in Manipur University, we have been doing this vaccination work since last 2-3 days. I know many people have got this vaccination. So we are managing healthcare facility with minimum requirement in the campuses of the university, which is very, very important. Then only, because as we all know that if we have good health, if we are not affected, then only we can carry on our academic activity regularly in future. This is all about healthcare management. Now, next topic or next topic for discussion of management of academic institution is related to classes. Now, question is, suddenly we have to close down our education institution. We have closed down our offline classes, which were being, even examinations are going on in Manipur University and also in Tripura University in the month of April. But we have postponed all these examinations. So our main concern should be the maintenance of academic calendar of our students. Because in universities, our courses are for 2 years for master degree, for PhD minimum 3 years, 5 years, like this. So the next issue of management of academic institution is maintenance of academic calendar. For this, as we all know that from the year 2020, that is since April 20 onwards, in Indian universities, as per guideline by the UGC and Ministry of Education, Government of India, and concerned state government, we had been doing online classes. This has been done just to maintain our academic calendar. Students have left their hostel, their university, they have gone to their respective houses. So online classes should be conducted, and we have been conducted just to cover their syllabus on time, and just to be ensured that their academic year do not get lost because of this pandemic. So we must do in class. We have already done. We have been doing, but I think in Northeast region is that in hill areas of Manipur, in hill areas of Tripura, in Nagaland, in remote area, for example, in Tausem area, Myanmar border, in Chapikarang border, or in Tipaimuk border, in Tamai area, for example, they do not have sufficient number of mobile tower. Therefore, we have received complaint that the students who are living in those remote area, remote villages, are not getting internet connectivity on time. Some of them are getting, but this is interrupted. This is not stable. They are being disturbed. So this is a great problem which we are facing. In Tripura also, there are some villages in Mizoram border, in Bangladesh border, where internet access is very poor. But this is about 10 to 50% cases only. Majority of the students will get and have been accessing internet connectivity in Northeast region also. This is not a problem of Northeast India. Yesterday I was listening an online webinar program of Madhya Pradesh. 5 vice chancellors were talking on this topic, on this area, and some of them were telling that even in rural area of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, internet connectivity is very poor. Some students are complaining. Then another issue here is that many of our faculty members are not acquainted, are not experts in online teaching, because we are complaining. We are compelled to follow this system of online teaching. We all know that before 2020, before March 2020, we in Indian universities were teaching only through offline classes, except few courses of IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, and UGC. Some more courses are there, some courses are there. They were being taught through online. But we in traditional university like Manipur, Tripura, Guwahati, and other places, we were compelled to start teaching through online mode from April 2020, and now also we have been following. But even some of our faculty members are sometimes facing difficulties while teaching online classes, because there are many issues. Sometimes number of students are more. Sometimes our mobile phone internet is not working. And again, from student side, there is complaint that for online classes, student needs at least one smartphone or laptop. So many students who belong to below poverty line, living in remote area, do not possess good quality smartphone. They are having mobile, but that is not acquainted, or they cannot carry the load of online classes. So many are having this problem. So to solve this problem, recently Government of Tripura has announced that government will give 5,000, a smartphone costing 5,000 to each and every student of college in Tripura or who are in government college. So there are 21 government colleges in Tripura state. Recently, government of Tripura announced that each and every student of government college of Tripura shall be given a smartphone costing about 5,000. This is a very good program of the government of Tripura. Let us hope that this program will succeed. They have not started giving, but they have already announced. So this is a good news for all of us, because many of our students, as we all know, that they belong to below poverty line category, economically weaker section. They may not have their mobile phone. This is very, very important issue. Then now, how to monitor online classes? As we have to complete our course on time, because we are main concern for the academic calendar of our student. Our master degree courses are for 2 years only. And if we take more than 2 years for completion of courses, for conduct of examination, then this is a great loss for the career of student, because some will be having S-bar, some will be having family problem, etc., etc. Therefore, there must be at least 1 or 2 officer or faculty member who are more expert in IT area, information technology area, to monitor the successfulness of online classes in universities. They must report at least weekly or fortnightly to the authority of the university that yes, online classes are being held successfully, progress is satisfactory. If we keep on continuing through this method, then we may complete our syllabus through online classes on time. So this type of monitoring authority should be also there in each and every academic institution. It may be a college, it may be a university also. Because when we talk about academic institution, we are always concerned for our affiliated colleges also. Because in colleges also, they have to teach, means teacher of the concerned college have to teach through online method. We all know that colleges are also closed now, not only university. See, all the colleges of our country, our state are closed, are declared vacation. But in colleges also, there must be online classes. I strongly recommend that in college also, there must be online classes. In case of Tripura, we shall be starting online classes from second week of May in all the colleges and all the department of university also. Now, timetable. How to follow the timetable, how to prepare for timetable. Like our traditional classes, like our offline classes, we have timetable, routine. So for online classes also, there must be a timetable of at least 1 hour duration. And the teacher, the concerned subject teacher must follow, must teach online classes as per the timetable prepared by the HOD. And again, there is another issue that as I will strongly advocate that online classes cannot be substitute of offline classes, face-to-face classes, but still we have to run. Therefore, we may certainly get, we have received complaint, and in future also we may receive complaint from students that they could not listen properly. Audio was poor, video was poor, voice was not listened properly. I am not listening, I could not listen, sir. There was power shutdown because in Northeast region, there is frequently we are facing this load shedding. Even in university, in Manipur University campus also, I know that for the last 2-3 days, there was complaint of load shedding. So even in village area, in village area, so it is more. In rural area, there is more load shedding. Therefore, at the time of load shedding, student may not listen the voice of teacher when he was having online classes. Therefore, I feel that there must be some extra classes to help such students who could not listen properly, who could not attend properly due to the failure of power, or sometimes our mobile phone, our charges are over. In laptop also, if there is a load shedding for more than 12 hours, 14 hours, then there may not be power also. So teacher may be teaching from Kanchipur, student who is listening from Tipaimukh or Tausen or Tamai may not listen properly. Therefore, to help such students who miss the class because of this load shedding and power failure problem, we may take extra classes also. So we should not hesitate for conducting extra class. to such students who could not join properly. Then another most important issue is examination. Yes, only completion of course through online will not serve our purpose. We must conduct examination also on time. Yes, we may not fulfill all the courses through online, but still we have to conduct examination as far as possible on time just to maintain academic calendar. Therefore, I suggest that online examination should be conducted. We have conducted. In Manipur University also, online examination were conducted in the year 2020. There I found that students have appeared through online. They have sent their answer sheet through PDF file to the concerned HOD or concerned principal. Then principal or HOD again downloaded and hard copy was printed, which I feel unnecessary. Why? Because in online examination, all the students have sent soft copy of their answer sheet. So as a teacher, as an examiner, our duty is to evaluate online, because again printing hard copy of all the students is unnecessary spending of wastage and time. So in Tripura University, what we have done in 2020, in the month of October, we did online examination of all the BA, BSc, BCom, MA, MSc, MCom examination in October before Durga Puja. So examination was held in the month of October first week, and result was declared in the last week of October, and for some cases it was declared in the first week of November. That means within 1 month and 15 days, we have completed online exam as well as online evaluation. Results have been declared and students have completed the course. So I feel that there must be online classes. If pandemic continue, we do not know how long it will continue. But as per the report, as per the trend, we can't say that it will be over, it will be subside, it will be reduced within 2-3 months. It may continue because this year the second wave is more strong than the first wave, which we have experienced in the year 2020. Therefore, I strongly feel that as soon as the course are over, we must start our online class from now onwards, from May onwards, and by July, August, or latest by September, we must have online examination and result must be declared. Now, question is PhD program, because in universities, PhD program are also going on simultaneously. We know that many students have submitted PhD theses. Their reports were due, their vivas were due, but we have closed down our education institution. Therefore, I strongly feel that those students who have already submitted their PhD thesis must be sent to the examiner outside Manipur, outside university, or wherever. Then the examiner will send the soft copy of the report to the controller of examination. Then controller of examination will forward the report to the concerned dean of the faculty, dean of the school. Then dean, in consultation with the supervisor, will find one date for PhD viva. The external examiner may appear, will certainly appear through online. External examiner will ask question through online mode. The faculty member need not come to university. Link will be sent to them. They will attend online. Even the candidate shall attend through online. Therefore, PhD viva can be completed. Why I am telling this? Because students have already expended 5 years, 6 years for PhD work. Now they have submitted. If because of pandemic, if you delay their viva voce, then it is a great loss for our beloved students also, who have spent time and energy and money. And some of them are already having very advanced age also. And as all of us know that from July 2021 onwards, from next month onwards, only PhD degree holder students shall be eligible for applying for the post of assistant professors in Indian universities and colleges. Therefore, just to think for their career also, we have to think for their career also. So just to make their career, success, and also just to feel that they have not lost their academic work because of pandemic, we can do online PhD viva voce, we can do online examination of PhD thesis, we can send the thesis, soft copy of the thesis through online mode to the concerned examiner outside the universities also. So this is also very important things which we have to take up. this matter shall be taken up by the controller of examination, dean of the school, and concerned supervisor. This is all about online classes. Now, next issue of management of academic institution is related to social responsibilities of universities. We all know that in our country there is corporate social responsibilities. According to corporate social responsibilities, 2% of the total profit of a company must be invested for the benefit of people. Similarly, educational institutions have also to fulfill social responsibilities. So during this period, even without pandemic also, we must adopt some villages within 5 to 10 kilometers of the campus. As a responsible organization, we can adopt a few villages within 5 kilometers from the university campus. And during this pandemic, our responsibility is to go to the village. We must conduct awareness program to the villagers, because in northeast region in India, in villages, the level of education is very low. Literacy rate is very low. They don't understand the importance of awareness. In TV program, we have seen that near Noida. Noida is a part of Delhi, UP, and it is very near from the Delhi, capital of India. Near the greater Noida, there are some villages. Recently, we came to know through TV that health worker, nurses, and doctor went to those villages for vaccination. But those villagers, they did not allow these health workers to enter in the villages. They did not allow for vaccination. They were thrown, they were dry, they were bitter also. So this news came. That means our people, our citizens are not aware of the importance of vaccination, sanitization. Therefore, we must conduct awareness program related to pandemic among our villagers of nearby our university campus, whom we have adopted. And we must try to distribute some masks, some sanitizer, etc., etc. And if they come for any help to the university health center, we must provide them all types of minimum necessary help, which we can provide. Even we need to conduct sometimes blood donation camp for the benefit of these villagers. And for this purpose, the role of NSS, National Service Scheme Unit of the universities, and NCC, and student union is very important, because we have to involve our students also for such type of program. Now, another area of academic management of institution is like economic effects are also there. There are some economic issues also during this pandemic, because we all know that during pandemic the work is stopped. Many people have become unemployed. The income of many students, the income of the guardian of many students who have been working in private sectors, many of them have given out of job. They are unemployed now. They are not earning any money. Therefore, there is always demand. Last year also there was demand. This year also there may be demand there. The student will ask for reduction of their tuition fee, hostel fee. They will certainly demand for, they may demand for concession in the payment of examination fee, hostel fee, and tuition fee, etc., etc. It is true, because of this pandemic lockdown, the economic condition of the country as a whole has gone down. Even the GDP of our country has gone down. All the expenditure are being diverted for healthcare facilities. Therefore, this is a natural phenomenon. Therefore, there will be demand from student side, from guardian side, from public side, for the reduction of tuition fee, and also concession in examination fee. We have to think this matter very seriously. Last year in Tripura, we have reduced 50% of total examination fee and tuition fee last year, and hostel fee also, because the students have vacated hostel. Therefore, they may certainly request for concession in the rent of the hostel room also. So this will certainly reduce our internal revenue generation. In the one hand, our UGC, our government is telling that universities must generate more revenue, internal revenue. But because of pandemic, our internal revenue may decrease also, because sometimes we must give some concession because of pandemic to our student in terms of payment of examination fee, tuition fee, hostel fee, etc., etc. This is all about economic effect, because we are going to affect this. Country as a whole is being affected because of this pandemic in terms of economic activity. So similarly, university is a part of our society, shall be affected because of this pandemic also. So we have to adopt some statutory measure. We must curtail, we must reduce our expenditure. We must expend money for necessary work only, like salary payment and other things. We may stop some development work which are not very, very of urgent nature during this pandemic. So we must take attention for important work only if there is shortage of budget, shortage of money because of a pandemic. Now, another very, very important issue is regarding post-pandemic management of the education institution. Now, after a few months, maybe after July, August, September, or whatever, we have to, once the pandemic will be slow, or once the surge will be decreased, or once the number of persons getting positive are being decreased, then we have to start our campus again. We have to invite our students again. We have to invite our stakeholder again in the campus. So they may be allowed to stay in the hostel, guest house once we open. Maybe after a few months, we don't know how many months it will take. That we cannot forecast. But sooner or later, we must open our university. We must open our hostel. We must start our offline classes. So in this matter, how to manage this post-COVID, post-pandemic situation in the university campus? For this, we must have a very good counselor in the university. Many students who have having many problems, like they are facing difficulties, like in terms of their career, in terms of their family income, settlement, etc., etc. So in such situation, we must give proper counseling to our students, to our faculty members, and also to our staff and family members of our staff. So there must be psychologists and career counseling in the university. Now also, during this pandemic, where students are away from the campus, in this time also, we must appoint some counselor for this purpose in the university. In Tripura University, we have appointed a teacher of psychology department for counseling. In Manipur University also, we have a full-fledged department of psychology. Our Professor M.C. Arun is now heading the department, and I know that there are the clinical psychologists, there are counselors, there are very good teachers who are appointed last year, 2020. So some of them must be assigned the duty of counseling to the student during this pandemic and also after pandemic. Counseling may be required for our teacher, our staff, our family members of our staff, also during this pandemic also. So whatever is their problem, we shall try to solve them by counseling. In this pandemic, we cannot do offline counseling. So through online mode only, we have to do counseling. But once the university campus are open after pandemic, then those teachers of psychology department who are expert in counseling, and those who are there in teaching clinical psychology subject in psychology department, they must be assigned the duty of counseling to all of them. And we have to take care of our health also. Now, during this pandemic, we have seen in many hospitals that the medicine are being given, oxygen are being given to the patient, COVID patient who are in the hospital. But in addition to this, the doctors are even telling to go for some yoga and pranayama. Even in hospitals, we have seen many patients, many COVID patients who are in the hospital have been seen doing yoga asana, pranayama asana in the morning time in the hospital also. Therefore, in university campus also, we must start some regular yoga classes. Now also we are having yoga classes in Manipur University, here in Tripura University also. But after this pandemic, just to avoid, just to prevent in future, because we don't know this type of pandemic may come again and again. We cannot forecast that this is the last wave. It may come, third wave, fourth wave may come. Therefore, just to develop our immune system, just to have a strong immune system of our student, our teacher, our staff, we must start morning yoga, yoga class, pranayam class in the campus. And we know that in Manipur University, we have now a full-fledged postgraduate department of yoga. So the faculty member of yoga who are there in Imphal can always extend their service for providing this yoga knowledge to our faculty members of our Eastern also. Now, last point, I would like to talk about the lesson learned for future. Lesson learned for future. But this pandemic has taught a lesson for all of us for future. We must take, from now onwards, we must take a lot of preventive measures so that even if there is pandemic, we are not affected. We shall not be affected in future. So for this, as we all know that those students, those staff, those faculty members who are sick, who are having other problems related to health, like kidney problem, liver problem, lungs problem, BP problem, hypertension problem, are affected more than those who are normal. Therefore, we must try to adopt all the measures so that our family members, our stakeholders, because one student are enter in the university, they are also our family members. University consists of a family. The members are vice chancellor, registrar, staff, officer, faculty member, non-teaching staff, student, and their family members. Therefore, we must have a very, very healthy environment in the campus of the university. Recently, there were many sad news that more than 41 faculty members, including 18 working professors of Aligarh Muslim University expired. 31 faculty members of different colleges of Delhi University expired. 21 professors from Banaras University expired. Many expired in Patna University also. Out of them, 2 were my good friend for Commerce Department. So likewise, because of poor health or maybe because of various reasons, we have lost many of our colleagues who are working in different universities in India. Therefore, for future, we must maintain proper healthy atmosphere in the campus. We must have very, very, green campus. There must be plantation of trees. I know in our university, Manipur University, it is now like green campus. We have very good water body. It is a pollution free, but we have not maintained our water body properly. Our campus must be pollution free, healthy, and there must be many, many trees from where we get good weather and oxygen. In Manipur University campus, trees are growing very fast. We have a lot of trees. We have water body, but this is not maintained properly. Just from back side of the State Bank of India to the hostel, ladies hostel number 1, there is a very good water body, but it is covered by grass. Now we have to remove this grass. Again, from the main gate to the health, to our A block, and from up to Centenary Hall and below, we have a very good water body, but it is not maintained properly. Because it is also one of the important issues in healthcare. There must be green water, clean water, the grass which is found floating on the water, as far as possible, should be removed. It may take time, but it should be a plan for future. Maybe within 2-3 years' time, we must have a plan for removing those grass, and let us make our water body very neat and clean. And about trees, we have seen many trees are growing, no problem. Apart from this, there must be some regular other organic farming also in the campus of the university. And as I have told you that there must be proper yoga class, pranayam, etc., in future, so that our students are not affected. And was even after pandemic also, I think we must maintain this SOP for a few years or months. Say, for example, maintaining proper social distancing, wearing mask. This should be continued even after pandemic is over, when we will be assembling in university campus also. Those norms must be followed. Then only we can have a very healthy campus life. Healthy campus life, healthy life of our students, our faculty, our officer, our staff. our vice chancellor, our registrar is very, very important. Then only we can run our university effectively, successfully. So these are some of the points which I try to cover for the topic that is management of academic institution during this pandemic period. Once again, I thank the organizer, especially Dr. Santosh, Professor Ratan, Professor Arun, and other officer, faculty member of Manipur University for giving me this chance for sharing my knowledge during this pandemic. I thank you very much, and we can associate in future in all such programs. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Professor Prasad, for your kind, very interesting, thought-provoking ideas about the management of the university and educational institutions, particularly the universities. And you have touched upon important issues like healthcare system, like social responsibilities of the students. And one very important thing which you have mentioned is that about the hello, can you hear me? About the post-COVID, post-pandemic management after this pandemic is over, and the preventive measures. Anyway, if any of our listeners and participants have any questions and would like to seek some clarifications, we have got still some time, and as Santosh has told me, so some questions we can entertain. Oh, there was a question. The question is very simple: whether we can have examination for the pre-PhD courses during this pandemic. I think you have already touched upon it, but then we want to try to help.
No.
Please answer it, sir.
Actually, first of all, immediately after my talk, it was not shedding, but it has come again.
Okay, good.
So this is the first question, that whether we can conduct a pre-PhD examination or
coursework.
It is a very, very true question, very, very relevant question. If the syllabus is over, if the coursework teaching is over, we must conduct online examination for PhD coursework also. Like other exam, we must conduct, we can conduct in PhD coursework. There are few students, say maybe 10, 15 or 7, 8 only. So without losing any time, we must conduct pre-PhD coursework examination through online mode also, so that they may be registered for future. Otherwise, it will be a loss for their academic career also. Because pre-PhD coursework is also a period of PhD. We count, because as per our ordinance, our PhD is for 3 years. Therefore, pre-PhD period is also a part of PhD program. Therefore, without any hesitation, we should try to conduct pre-PhD course or exam through online mode, sir.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Is there any other question?
Another question, Nandi Athopam asking the question: how should be the mark evaluation system of online examination during this pandemic?
Yeah. It is a very good question. As per our university system, for one paper, generally even in BA or MA, we have 100 marks. One paper carry 100 marks. So in online exam also, for 100 marks, generally we set up 5 questions, for example. Okay, one question may carry say 50 marks. Out of 100 marks, generally in university, in our university, 25 marks or 30 marks is for internal assessment. So for this, we have done some exam. For this paper of 75 marks, as we used to set, say 5 questions, 6 questions, as per the schedule, as per the system which we are following for offline. Same system, same model may be followed for online exam also. Because in online exam, we send question just before 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the exam schedule. Say 5 questions, 10 questions are sent through email. The student will download those questions. They will write the answer of those 5 questions, 4 questions during this time, maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours in plain paper, 4-size paper. Then they will send. So exam model, the number marks may be same, which we used to set up for offline exam. Or there can be other model also. Some university are telling that they set question for 50 marks only. For example, one paper carries 100 marks, but in online mode, they set question for 50 marks. So out of 50, if some student get 20, then his marks will be multiplied by 2. It will be 40, for example. So this system is also being followed. So there are two systems. Either we set all 5 questions, or we set question for 50 marks, and that marks may be converted by multiplying 2, and that will be reflected in the mark sheet. This also can be followed. We have followed this system also.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
One more question, sir. Dr. Mainam Irik Homba Maite, he want to know something from you. Tripura University hosteler are still staying in the hostel, or they leave the hostel? If they still stay, then how you can manage?
Yeah. This is how I'm managing. You know, in Tripura University, there are only 4 hostels, only 4. You know, there are very less hostels. 2 hostels, there is one hostel for PG boys, one hostel for PG girls. There is one hostel for research scholar girls. There is another hostel for research scholar boys. Only 4 hostels. So all the PG students, because we keep research scholar and PG separately. PG students are living in separate hostel. Research scholar are living in separate hostel for both male and female. So all the PG hostel have been vacated. Only 4 students from Bangladesh, because we know that Bangladesh border is sealed. Therefore, only 4 female students of PG classes from Bangladesh are living in this PG girls hostel. Now, in research scholar hostel, actually our intake is also very low. In research scholar boys, it is only 61 capacity. In research scholar girls, only 49. So out of 49 girls, 21 are living for female and 20 boys are living, because they are living because many of them are research scholar from science subject. They have to attend their laboratory, they have to do experiment. And some of them are going to submit their thesis within 5 months, 6 months. So with the consent of their parents and with the permission of the supervisor only, supervisor and guardian must write that, please allow my student to live in the hostel because he has to attend laboratory regularly and he is going to submit his thesis within 4 months. For this purpose only, we have allowed few students, but as soon as they will submit thesis, they will go. And also another important thing, they are not allowed to go outside the campus. Please listen carefully. No one is allowed to go outside the campus. We have seen the campus. If any one of them found living outside going outside the campus, if any one of them is found going without marks, immediately he is removed from the hostel. Our rules are very strict. So they are confined within their room. They are not allowed to go outside the campus. They are not allowed to play any game in the playground also. And they are allowed for a special purpose because they have to do some experiment and they are going to submit their thesis within 5 months only. This is what we are following in Tripura University.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. Last question. Last question. Research scholar, they ask the question, they attending the many conference, seminar, faculty development program through online. Is it this attendance certificate is used or valid or not in future?
Yes, actually, this depends on university to university, but you know, because of pandemic, they cannot go to attend the seminar in Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata, wherever. Seminars are being held sometimes, and they can do online presentation. They can do online presentation. They can get online certificate, e-certificate. So some universities are accepting. Say, for example, in Tripura University, I shall be accepting because of pandemic they cannot go. But they must share the proof of paper. They must submit the paper which they presented in the seminar. So along with certificate, they must submit the paper which they have submitted in the seminar. Then only it may be treated as a valid certificate for getting API or number. Simply certificate without paper shall not be accepted. Proof must be there. Proof must be there.
Thank you, Wazaratan. Question is over. Question is over.
Yeah, question hour is over. Then last we have to express our heartfelt thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, one of our former colleagues, Professor G.P. Prasad, for your thought-provoking, interesting, and very illuminating talk on the management of educational institutions, particularly institutions of higher learning like university. And as you have been in our midst for a long time, you know better the management of our university, Manipur University, and vis-a-vis the management of the Tripura University. And it is quite heartening to see one of our former colleagues here as the Vice Chancellor of another important state, and all of us are suffering together. And thank you, sir, for your very illuminating ideas about the management of social responsibilities. Particularly, we are very much impressed, particularly for me, we are impressed that your social responsibilities of the students. And another important aspect that you have touched upon is like the management of the crisis, post-pandemic situation, management of the institutions. And that's very important. I think it is the right time that all of us should give proper attention to the post-pandemic management. So with these viewers, I once again, our heartfelt gratitude to Professor G.P. Prasad, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, and all those listeners and participants, and my colleague, Professor M.C. Arun, and then Dr. Santos for giving me, for organizing. Dr. Santos particularly is taking as the convener of the Fit India Campaign Committee of Manipur University and the Fit India Club of the university. He has been taking the trouble to organize a series of lectures during this pandemic webinars, and all of us are associated with it at some point or other. And I once expressed my own heartfelt thanks to the organizers for giving me such an opportunity to interact and participate and share some of our views on this important topic. So I once again thank from my side, my heartfelt thanks to the organizers. Thank you. So, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
It is my pleasure and it is my duty to associate for any work with Manipur. So rather, I'm more grateful, sir.
We know it, sir. We know it, sir. We know it. We know it, sir.
So
thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm part of Manipur University. I'm literally, sir, physically I'm in Kantipur.
We know it, sir. We know it, sir.
Mentally, I'm in Manipur University. I'm in Kantipur. Yeah. So it is my pleasure to be here, and I'm really grateful for the organizer, for Manipur University, for giving me this opportunity. Let us work together in future also for all academic activities, sir. Once again, I thank all of you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the conclusion part. On behalf of the Fit India Campaign Committee and Fit India Club of the Manipur University, we like to extend a vote of thanks, especially to the today's panelists, today's speaker, Professor Oza Prasad. Thank you so much for your amazing and wonderful sharing your experience and giving the information in this second session. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thanks to the Professor T.A.S. Ratan Kumar Singh and Professor M.C. Arun sir. Thank you so much for moderating and co-moderating for this session, conducting this smoothly and grand success. Thank you so much, sir. And especially I'd like to thank all the listener and your patience of the listen and then all participants. I thank you so much, all of you. We have to meet again tomorrow, same timing. Tomorrow we have very interesting topic. Tomorrow our speaker is the Dr. Tongpram Manihar Singh, State Immunization Officer. He will be talking about COVID-19 vaccination. Now is there want in this COVID-19 situation, COVID-19 vaccination, everybody want to know what is the effect, what is the position of COVID vaccination first dose and second dose, what is the position, what is the effectives coming up, and later on we have to know together this knowledge from the Dr. Tongpram Manihar Singh, State Immunization Officer tomorrow. So thank you all of you, and see you again tomorrow. Bye bye, sir.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.